Hello, Professor. This is going to be the quick video for this week's talk on ethics, your video assignment. Going to be glancing off screen a little bit here as I follow your instructions and make this quick video. So first question that we're going to address for my company that's in creation, which is the Cyrus Jordan Wiseman Foundation, named after my son who lived 50 days and passed due to SUIDs. So what ethical issues do you see your company having? List at least 2. That's a really interesting question that my initial response is a little uncomfortable emotionally, because I would certainly hope not to have any ethical issues in operating a nonprofit organization centered around grief support and togetherness and well-being. I would certainly hope to be able to do that without ethical issues. However, that's not how humanity is wired, right? There's going to be questions. Is my son even mine? To be extreme. It's possible, right? Someone wants to question that. So that could be an ethical issue that I would have to address, proving my case, perhaps. Another ethical issue that a lot of nonprofits, I'm sure, are judged upon is, what are you doing with your funds and are you transparent with them? I think that is probably the most pertinent question in the sense of ethics that would surround my company. Do I have ethical issues now? I'm in creation. Not yet, but I definitely have the foresight, based on your first question, that there will be ethical issues for sure. It's a matter of if, or it's a matter of when, not if. Excuse me. How do you think the issues should be handled? Oh, well, let me go back, because I see here it says, do you have ethical issues now? List 1, make it up, tell a good story. So let me make sure I do that second part. So we don't have them, but let me make it up and tell a good story. So perhaps we had a donor give us $5,000 that was a pertinent local prominent company that wanted their name attached with ours, and it was a great bonding relationship experience, right? And then they said, well, hey, some information has come to light, and now we're questioning, how much of our $5,000 was given to SUID's research. What did you do with it? Can we see a breakdown, penny by penny, dollar by dollar, line by line, where the money went, what it was spent on, what percentage do you use it for SUID's research, for grief support, for community outreach, for events? Where does the money go, and what happens? And so then I respond, well, of course, I already have all of that, and I'll send it over right now. Because if you're operating ethically and you're doing it correctly, that information is not just gathered, but it's handled correctly, and it should be deliverable at a moment's notice. And so, the end of that story was they were very happy and returned with a $25,000 donation the following year, because they said that they had never felt the strong ethical connection to a nonprofit that they had ours after that connection was made in the previous year. So, where we provided proof, and they were like, wow, this is amazing. These guys do all this work. 85% goes here, 10% there. They're barely putting anything in their pocket. Let's give them more, right? And that's what we want to be. That's what we want to do. We want to be active in change and in grief support. How do you think these issues should be handled? Give at least a 3-point plan on how you think it should be handled, including communicating to the public and your customers and what the issue was and how you fixed it. Okay, so a 3-point plan on the ethics of acquiring, taking in funds as a nonprofit. Well, step 1, I think, is transparency. It is on our website. at a moment's notice. The best way to do it would be to have like live real-time data. So we take in a donation, then it's adjusted or updated automatically, maybe with the use of AI or whatnot. And it allows essentially our customers to understand that their dollars are being used appropriately, and for them to have the transparency on, as I was kind of touching on earlier, dollar by dollar, penny by penny, line by line, what we're using the money for. We're using it to get people out in nature that have just lost their children. We're using it to connect them to counseling services, psychiatric care if needed. We're using it to hold, weekly meetings where it can be an open forum, another version of grief support, right? We're using it to, most importantly, in research, in medical research, and we are diligent about making sure that our dollars, just like our customers are diligent, that our dollars is getting close to 100% usage, so that when we as a nonprofit want to invest in research, if I'm giving $100,000, it's not 1%, right? It's 100%. So that's very important, I think, for anyone who gives. So the 3-point plan is transparency through the website, communication also through the website, and 3-point plan. I had a 2-point plan. A 3rd point would be, action, and making sure that we are active enough in creating change, in reaching people, in conducting research. And so the 3rd-point plan would be on, tracking a lot of that as well, potentially on the website, going back to transparency there also. I hope that is thorough and in-depth enough and answers the question appropriately. Customers, what the issue is and how you fixed it. I think the how you fixed it part is through communication, through transparency, right? Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And I enjoyed this assignment, and I've really enjoyed this class so far. It's very insightful and very helpful to kind of turn a mirror on what I want to do, and kind of make sure that I'm checking myself and creating checks and balances as well in the development of my company. So I do appreciate that, because this is near and dear to my heart, to say the least. Thank you, Professor. Have a good one.